Hey guys, welcome back. Long time no see. So today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up video for you guys. But before I get into that, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on with me. So this past week I moved into a new house and I also started my fall school semester, and so it's been a really crazy, hectic week with school starting and moving, and yeah, it's been really busy. So that's kind of why there hasn't been any videos uploaded. I haven't uploaded anything recently. And just to warn you guys that probably won't be uploading much videos this semester. I looked at my schedule and my class syllabus, and there's just so much work to do that I'm not gonna have much time to upload videos. I don't even think I'll have much time to read what I want. So yeah, I'm gonna be very busy, and so just don't expect too many videos until winter break. I'm still gonna try to upload every once in a while, but it's not gonna be very often or frequent. So yeah, let's get right into the wrap up. So this month in August, I read 8 books, and I read all of them like the first 2 weeks of August. I read all of these. The last 2 weeks, I've sort of been in a little bit of a reading slump, and so I started Pandemonium like 2 weeks ago, and I still have yet to finish it. So I've been in a little bit of a reading slump, but hopefully I can get out of it. But with all my schoolwork and everything else, not sure I will be. But anyway, let's get right into the wrap up. I'm not gonna pull out these books to actually show you guys on camera because I just finished unpacking all my books and setting them up on the shelves. So I don't feel like grabbing the books off again and then putting them back on the shelves again. So I'm just gonna tell you what they were. The first one is The Warrior Heir by Cinda Williams Chima, and this book I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It had warriors, it had wizards, sorcerers, soothsayers. Every magical being basically was in this book. And there's a hierarchy to the magical beings in this book, where wizards are on top. They pretty much rule everything and can do whatever they want, and then warriors are like at the very bottom of the food chain, and they typically get used by the wizards to compete in these games, like these fight to the death match type games. And so yeah, it's really interesting getting into this world and learning more about it. What I really liked about this book, other than, you know, learning more about this magical world and everything that's involved in it, what I really liked also was the book focused more on friendships, which you don't see too much in YA books. A lot of times there's a romantic relationship in the middle of the book that like pretty much takes the focus. And I like that this book, there wasn't really a romance in it. There was a little bit of, this character like this character, but it wasn't anything big that took over the book. It mainly focused on the friendships between the main characters and his best friends, and them discovering this world and finding out he's a warrior and competing in the games and all this stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Definitely worth picking up to read. The second book I read was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. And this one I picked up because I've heard several people on BookTube rave about it, and they absolutely loved it. And then I saw the first quote in the book, in the beginning of the book, and it said, "Once upon a time, an angel and a demon fell in love. It did not end well." And so basically from that quote, I was like, okay, I want to read this. I want to know more. What attracted this angel to this demon in the first place, and vice versa. And just, it piqued my interest, so I wanted to read it. And I did. And I did end up liking it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the world was interesting. It was very different. The creatures in this book was very different, and sometimes it was hard to sort of imagine them in your head because they were part human, part animal, part this, and it was sometimes a little bit hard to envision them. But it was still a really cool, interesting world. And the story, basically with the main characters, Karu, I think is her name, Karu and Akiva, they basically have this like Romeo Juliet type of love where it's like supposed to be enemies, supposed to hate each other, yet somehow they fall in love. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I'm definitely interested in picking up the next book. I really want to know more and find out what happens next. Because the ending of this one was kind of a cliffhanger, so I do want to find out more on what happens. The next book I read was The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. And I did this as a buddy read. I read this like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, back 3 weeks ago. And this book, actually, I have a video review of this book, so I won't get into this book. But check out the video review. It's a mashup of The Fifth Wave and Hexed. So yeah, check out those two reviews. The next book I read was Hexed by Michelle Creers. I never know how to say her name. This book I actually got from the library and I returned it Friday. But I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I do have a review of that one as well. It's in the same video review as The Fifth Wave. So go check out both of those reviews. And then the next book, which I started back in July, but I didn't finish till August, was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. And so I was rereading the Harry Potter series for Summer of Spells, and also just because I wanted to reread the series this year. And so that was when I finished earlier this month. And of course I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's Harry Potter. What more do I have to say, really? The next book I read was If I Stay by Gail Forman. This one, unfortunately, I did not really like. I know a lot of people on BookTube liked it, which is great. It just wasn't for me. Wasn't a book for me. I gave it a 2 stars. I have a video review of that one as well if you want to check it out. And then the next book I read was The Giver by Lois Lowry. And I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I read this because I wanted to see the movie that just came out. And I did see the movie, and I did like the movie, and I liked the book. Um, of course, the movie does change some things, but I still think it was faithful to the overall concept of the book. There were minor changes, but I feel like they worked. It worked well. And so I did enjoy both the movie and the book. The book is pretty short, and so my only complaint with the book is I wanted to know more. The ending, I wanted more. I wanted to figure out what else was going to happen. And overall, the book itself, it's an interesting society to read about, which this book is a dystopian book where, like, pretty much people have, like, their memories are, I don't know if they're erased or just sort of shut off or something. This is one of the things that wasn't explained very well in the book, I don't think. And so this is something I was a little bit confused about. But in this society, people don't remember what the world was like before. And so they basically live in this utopia where everything is perfect. Everything's the same. Everyone is the same. Because they don't like to draw attention to differences. So everyone dresses the same, talks the same. And it's supposed to be like this perfect utopia so that, you know, there's no conflict, there's no violence or wars or anything. So no one really remembers how the world worked before, except for the giver, who is in charge of all the memories of the world, the whole world's history, so that he can advise the council on how to do things, which they don't really go to him much for advice or counsel. So I'm like, what's the point of his role? But anyway, and once the giver, you know, once he starts getting older and aging, he's supposed to pass on those memories to the receiver, who will eventually become the giver. But he passes on the memories to someone else. And so there was a lot of questions I had about this book, like, because it was so short, it didn't really get to all my questions, like, okay, how did the world become this way? How do they not remember things? So I would have wanted a bit more for the book. But I did still enjoy it. So, yeah. And then the last book I read was For, a Divergent Collection by Veronica Roth. And this one I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I loved reading from For's point of view. It's a bunch of short stories from For's point of view, from when he was initiate in Dauntless, when he transferred, and all of that. And so I really love seeing his point of view, his perspective. I love seeing Zeke and Shauna. They're more in this book. And I love their characters, so I love seeing them more. And overall, I just really like the book. I like seeing also the scenes with him and Tris, seeing it how she saw it in Divergent, and then now seeing it from his perspective in 4 was really interesting. So, yeah. Really enjoyed the book. So, but pretty much that's my wrap up for August. Let me know in the comments down below, you guys, what you read this month, and if you read any of the books I read, let me know what you thought of them, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye.